Hello and welcome. This is rooflemonger, my friends. It is indeed Tekken trailer time yet again. And today we are talking about not Jack 4, not Jack 5, not Jack 6, not Jack 7, but we are indeed talking about Jack-8, making his debut, I guess, in Tekken 8, because that's technically a new character, even if it is the same Jack we always known and loved. Jack-8 is the latest revision of Jack technology, and boy howdy, you can see by this giant rocket gun, it's a pretty good one. We got a lot of classic Jack-isms here, and an all-new stance. Jack is now a stance character. And going by the trailer, leaning pretty heavily into it, it looks like it's going to be a pretty important part of his moveset. So we got this fun stuff, we have literal death lasers. So let's rewind a little bit here and dig into the Jack trailer and break it all down. So, as always, we open up with our chains here, and what is Jack's tagline this time around? He's the high-tech annihilator, and you know what? Fair enough. He certainly looks high-tech, and he's bringing a whole new level of tech into the fight, not only with his sick, red gamer LEDs all over his body, but the fact that he has a combination of self-propelling rocket launcher slash railgun, as he kind of flies his way into battle with it. And it's not for show, he will use it in the fight. As we've learned from other trailers, Tekken 8 is about weapons now, and it's a big weapon. So opening up with our trailer here, we see Jack going for sidestep 2, and when King blocks, he does glow red on block, so it might indicate it does just a little bit of chip damage, perhaps? And then, I guess more importantly, we go into this whole sequence, because this is going to inform a lot of what Jack-8 apparently is in Tekken 8. So he goes for a move, and then he stance cancels the move. This stance is all new for Tekken 8, and this stance is very literally flexing on you. Because, Jack is meant to be the Terminator slash Arnold Schwarzenegger, right? So flexing is kind of the bag. And then from there, a big just wallop of a punch. We're going to see a lot of options out of this stance over the course of this trailer, and this seemingly is one of the more devastating ones. And the new tricks don't stop there. So right here, Jax has a ground pound, basically, like Jax from Mortal Kombat or something. Takes a quick hop here and smacks the ground, and King definitely reacts. Like, there's no necessary indicator of range, like, is this a full screen move, or do you have to be somewhat close to the enemy? But still, that's pretty alright. It might not do damage necessarily, and if you're crouching, I would assume it would negate the effect, but still, you can force negative frames on the enemy and without actually even hitting him. And also note at the end, he is going into the stance again. And from the stance, we get to see another option here. We got a giant wind up full circle move here that catches King trying to sidestep. We've seen a lot of sidesteps working in the earlier trailers, and now we're showing a lot of sidestep failures in these trailers. King at negative frames like, well, I'll just step whatever comes next, and nope, you're gonna get hit like a big dummy. Could be the stance has options just based off the buttons, so if before the big right was 2, then perhaps this is just stance 1. And with all this new stuff, don't worry, the classics are still there to end the combo. Jack does his big wind-up uppercut here, and sends King along his way. And now, how about an example combo, once again showcasing the new stance as well. So we block King, go for a punish. This looks like down forward 2, but it goes naturally into his Sky Sweeper up forward 1, so perhaps that's an all-new string. Stance canceled into the flex. Yet again, we're going to see a lot of that flex into flex 2 perhaps, and this causes a tail spin. So from here, chase forward and do forward 1, 2, 2 string. So once again, thank you Stance for making this combo possible. Our next sequence here looks like stand 2, 3, which isn't a string in Tekken 7, but it could be in this game. And then what looks to be forward 1 plus 2 is a power crush now, so it has armor. But also it looks like Jack's taken a bit of a play out of the P-Jack playbook, as a lot of P-Jack moves have like a lot of spinning arms and all that kind of stuff, a lot more robotic style moves, which is great because it's not like P-Jack's going to be in Tekken 8, right? So might as well inherit a little bit of the move set. So after our interactable launch, we go for another up forward 1 Sky Sweeper, causes the tail spin state so we can follow up after the fact. Back 3-2, stance cancel again, and again more P-Jack style moves. So once again, Jack-8 carrying that P-Jack legacy forward. Here, we get another look at the model, and the character model looks just absolutely fantastic, honestly. Now, our next sequence, a lot happens here. This is some pretty big stuff. So, let's start the show with the showstopper. Forward 1, this guy here. So the first thing you're probably noticing is King's nowhere near the elbow when it connects, right? Like he's actively trying to walk away from it, step away from it, and it still easily connects. So watch out for that for sure. But also, now the other thing is, the move connects, but he's not knocked down. Forward 1 in Tekken 7 knocks down, well, very easily in fact. However here, forward 1, no dice. But two things to note. One, you can see the stance cancel again, right? So you can stance cancel off a lot of moves. They really, really, really want you to use it. Move, stance cancel, other move, good flow and continuation of offense. But also, it looks like it forces crouch on King. So it may lead to a situation where if you do not do the stance follow-up, you're going to immediately go for a crouch throw, because Jack has multiple crouch throws, and they also look the same, so as far as like a 1 or 2 break, you can't tell the difference, you just have to guess. Maybe I'm reading too much into that. It's well known on this channel, when it comes to things like grappling and throws, I'll definitely side in the favor of the grappler, right? But that's very interesting to me. So after stance goes for the big Jack stomp. Might hit as counter hit, I'm not sure. And this looks like down forward 1-1, although if it is, it's a new animation. And to be fair, it's a hell of an animation, because once again, he's literally just flexing on you while he's attacking. I like it. So that causes tailspin state. From here, he'll go into the heat burst to rebound the enemy and keep the combo going. And then back 3, 2, he'll enter stance again. Stance is so important. And then into the big 1 uppercut. Here we can see Jack forward 1+2. This is a heat engager as he follows up after the fact. Then immediately goes into his heat smash, and the smash part's pretty accurate here, as that flying railgun of his literally rockets into you and explodes and sends you both flying. Next up, another really interesting piece of business thanks to the new stance. So flex stance from the move, and at which point here, King attempts to press a button on him, except this move is armored, and then after armoring through the move, he just explodes King outwards thanks to this like giant imp explosion or something like that. So perhaps if some of these stance moves are slower, it'll leave the enemy inclined to try to press a button on you. But here, well, this is going to armor through whatever you're going to press, and you'll get punished for it, and also it's a heat engager. So free follow-up, and now more silliness. The regular stance, now that Jack is in the heat mode, is just armored straight up. King hits him multiple times, no bigs, and Jack just cranks him on the other side of it. So we saw earlier in King's trailer how King gains a lot of armored effect while he's in heat, and it looks like Jack is going to be much the same. He's in heat mode, he can stance up, and he's a giant armored brute, and he'll just wallop you if you try to hit buttons. Now I'm assuming he'll still have to like tech if you try to throw him in the stance. That won't be armored, but hey, brave new world, who actually knows, right? Jack is the true Terminator when he's in the heat stance. You can't stop him. Following from this, another little P-Jack mini style spin here. Following up, tail spin, ending with back 2. Next up, Jack already in heat, back 2 again, and can heat dash from it. Forward 1-2 into a new string ender, which once again, this is like P-Jack, so keeping the legacy alive still. After the tail spin, back 3-2, stance cancel into a giant stance kick. There's a big close-up here, which is actually unfortunate because it's ruining how brilliant this animation is. At the start, Jack puts his hand to the ground and using like his rocket punch property to propel himself forward. That's an innovative way to use the moves that are given to you. I dig it. And finally, it's Rage Art time. So big close-up, big hit, and well, the Rage Art. So once again, this is all about that railgun Jack has. So he calls in the railgun after bopping you real good here. Explosion. The railgun is self-propelled, it has its own manner of flight, and then just opens you up and behold, proton cannon, straight out of Marvel vs. Capcom 2 Iron Man, and blows you away, and blows himself away too. For Jack, I guess collateral damage is acceptable, and who knows what Jack-8, if he's a good guy or a bad guy. Every Jack has their own shtick. All I can say for sure is this Jack shtick is giant freaking railgun that's like 13, 14 feet tall. And that's the Jack trailer, and I'm impressed, honestly. I feel like I've been saying that a lot with these Tekken 8 trailers, but it's a good one, man. Like, I really dig it. Just the whole flex stance and all, like, the opportunities and options it gives you, that gives Jack a whole new breath of life. Plus the ground pound. I really like the ground pound. Seemingly, we got some new strings, and Jack just looks dangerous. That and giving him a few P-Jack inspired moves, you know, remembering that character exists, also I think is pretty cool. He's a high-tech big boy, and I'm also, on a personal level, a fan of the flex stance when you're in heat. It's all armored, and you can't stop him for nothing, because I like the big character with a lot of super armor. That's just how the rooflemonger goes. I like seeing the railgun get used. I've always liked the railgun since Tekken 2 when they showed like the army of Jacks using the railguns in the intro. So happy after all these years it's actually finally part of his moveset. I've always thought Jack was pretty cool, and for me, this just looks like an even cooler version of how Jack usually is. So 2 thumbs up from me. I guess the only thing to say is the rage art. It doesn't look like it hurt. It looks like it will kill. This is a Mortal Kombat fatality. This is not just some martial arts maneuver. Like, this is much more devastating than anything else we've seen so far. But all that said, that's the trailer, that's Jack-8. I would love to know what you guys think about everything you've seen here, so post it in the comments below. And we're at the end of the video, so thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well, and go out and play some Tekken.
This is the love we can